tonight. Our tough talking, prolific, authoritative guest speaker, Councilor Tiawan Bongo.
Please have your seats. The outgoing and newly inducted president, the members of the Association of Liberian Journalists of the Americas, Ambassador Patton, and other members of the government of Liberia here present, Sylvia Elliott, and other members of the United States government here present, representatives of the Press Union of Liberia, if there's any present, other Liberian-based professional and civil society organizations, representatives of other United States-based professional and civil society organizations. And let me recognize Dr. Jalak Babu.
Prophet Yomara Irasho Diabie Hawa Irasha Ene Baba Bewe Diabie Kaseme Wari Efrega Waso Yo Wamuto Momuja Maseme Wase Efrega Wani Mubo Wani Mo so you say your wife will take a party and watching Yabie Hawaii Tiaji, Kabenwa dia gari go say it. Why go moini oge ukawe? Kanga ma joga se mo bengi akanfo ni juba minyo.
We want to welcome all our viewers and listeners across the globe. I'm Afonso Z and Sort of the Liberia Public Radio, 10 LPR TV. As usual, to always take a rendezvous. I take you to Grand Bassa County this morning. And to all our Bazilians, our Bassa friends out there, to our listeners, viewers, we say good morning, to good afternoon, to wherever you are. Thank you for joining us. This is All Things Considered, echoing from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Let's go. Let's have some little Bassa song here, all right?
Oni kwangwa kamo brother irasho dia. Ma kwanda se mega sambo kwen. Ke irasho ngama diga mawe. Te kusonge. Le pamundaro bonwinyo. Le pamundaro bonwinyo.
So I want to welcome our Bassa friends this morning. LPR always in the business to showcase the beauty and quality of Liberia. Grand Bassa County, here we come. This is your informative news magazine. All things considered, it comes away every Thursday right here from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. I'm Afonso Z, and so as usual, right here at your ankle. Stay tuned. All right, this is our beginnings and starting theme song here by the man K Praise, higher praise. This is our song that always start the program, but we also proportion it to other artists and the culture of Liberia. Let's get started this morning. So we're going to be giving the higher praise despite of the uncertainties, the political biggerings, the divide in our community, home, closer to our workplaces and other places. We're going to give in the higher praise.
In the morning when I wake up, in the night when I wake up, I will lift up my voice to heaven and give you the highest praise.
We're going to give in a higher praise, no matter what the situation is. I'm Afonso Z, and so of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. This is your informative news magazine, All Things Considered, right here. Good morning, good afternoon to wherever you are. Thank you for joining us here this morning from the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. All things considered, it's an informative news magazine. It comes away every Thursday right here, perfectly suited to give you voice, to have a say into the political, economic, social, development unfolding in Liberia to right before your very eyes in your in-house, whatever it is. It's just perfectly suited to allow you to speak on some of the things. Sometimes we bring guests and we have specific topic, and that sort of narrow you down to makes you to not to speak some of the cool things of value, things that you strongly believe in. But all things considered is designed to just give you that voice. We are sorry we're coming on later because of other things ongoing. And by the way, the Association of Liberian Journalists in the Americas, that was Councilor Tawan Gonglo, you saw the during the last inauguration, that was held in Minnesota. And this coming Saturday, today's Thursday, Friday, the Association of Liberian Journalists will be hosting a major virtual convention. It will be streamed live here by Liberia Public Radio and sister network KMTV as part of our obligation to serve the community. And that was a good thing on the part of the national leadership of AJA, President Joe Mason, and the entire executive approved by the board of directors. Our colleagues, friends in Liberia and other places are going to be joining our conference. We encourage you to form part of that conference. It doesn't matter whether you're a journalist, but you also want to know what is unfolding in your country. Nobel laureate, Madam Liman Bowie, according to protocol, schedule of the program that we are receiving, Madam Bowie will be speaking live from Ghana. The team in Liberia will be assembling at the YMCA chapters here in the USA will be meetings in their different locales. You have the Minnesota chapter, the Valley of Delaware chapter, the New England chapter, and some of the folks in Europe and other places. You'll be able to hear some veterans journalists. Some have retired or not actively participating into the field. You're going to be hearing their voices as well. And of course, as usual, the President Joe Mason, as usual, will be giving the annual address on the affairs of the association. Two chapters with new team of officers. They will also be inducted into office. And of course, Liberia Public Radio as community network, we will be part of it. And as well, I will also be inducted as president of the New England chapter at Associations of Liberian Journalists. So that's quite interesting. And you want to also hold her accountable because we have to bring quality broadcasting, good news, objective, balance, to give everybody the fair share. And that's what it is all about. That's what makes the media industry very, very crucial, especially at the time when we are having such a consequential senatorial election and potentially the presidential election to be coming in 2023. So we have to set the pace right now. So it is quite interesting to see what's going on. And the journalists, we sit behind the microphone. You should also hold it accountable to not to abuse the beauty of microphone. It has strength. Things that we report, it does matter because we have to tell you the fact. And the idea of people taking one side of issue and running with it as a news and do not still understand what is a news, what is an announcement, what is an entertainment, and what is a public relations. All of these factor in. This is where you should hold us accountable as well. Because the media has the propensity to also exacerbate and create chaos in the society, because that I come out here without validating information that I'm going to be sharing with you. You rely on us. Not that you do not have the will to go out to find information, but all of us have our own area of expertise where we can be able to create that conversation. But we are also realizing, cognizant of the fact that most of us in the media industry have also helped to create what is ongoing in today's war, and not just only Liberia alone. You know what is happening here. Politicians, stakeholders, advocates, they get their own way to fine-tune or send their message out there. And so when we hold them accountable, they comes back to say, no, this is what I meant to say. And that's why it is important when somebody says something or when a particular statement or something is made of, we must also have the courage to go further to dig up to get the actual meaning of what they are saying. And I know it's annoying because most of those people, they do not want to be held accountable. They just want to make statements. They just want to say something and they go away. And for the most part, it is politicians that always create this sort of drama. And it becomes a talking point for you and myself because we are under obligation to also follow the facts. And Liberia is no exception. So you see what is unfolding to right here in one of the godfathers of democracy. It is quite unprecedented. You listen to President Trump when the specific question was asked yesterday, whether he can commit himself to the transfer of power if he were to lose the election. He couldn't answer the question. That itself is scary. And that's why news is so important, and it is important for all of us to pay attention. And I know other people can be freaking out, oh, when you listen to news every day, you don't get anything. This is what they are saying. Yes, because in today's world, the growth of the economy, the growth of a country, the development of the country potentially lies in the hands of politicians, especially those who are stakeholders. This is why it is good to pay that attention. Because when they make these ridiculous and unbelievable statements, and we just play it down, what happens at the end of the day, it creates a chaotic situation. It brings economic uncertainty. It creates situations where jobs go off. And then what happens? Civil disobedience starts. And that was quite interesting yesterday. This is all things considered. So we're going to put you in there and put you out there. But I was stunk yesterday when I listened all night. I kept playing that. But I'm happy that few Republican leaders are coming out to denounce or to speak out against it, that a certain U.S. president will not commit himself to a smooth turning over if he were to lose the election. If this can happen here, what you think about Liberia or any other West African country or any part of the world, can you imagine that? And interestingly, there was a country that the State Department I vowed to take an action because the president did not commit. It was similar question. The president did not commit himself of a smooth turn over the power if you were to lose election. So it's happening here. This is how Uncle Sam also behaved, because when all of these things are, when they were, if it was in an African country, believe me or not, they would crack, they would come down on you so hard, heavily, and maybe sanctions or some sort of embargo will be imposed. But we're seeing the unbelievable, the unimaginable unfolding in this country, a country that is considered a godfather of democracy. And if it is so fragile and it is so fractured as it is in this country, believe me, nowhere is a safe ground when it comes to the transitions of power, whether through a democratic process or whatever the situation. You saw in Mali the other day, they take over the military. Later on, people went there, they negotiated, talk to her, they say, okay, well, whatever the situation is, we want to stabilize the situation and we have to stay here for 2 years. That's it. That's it. So we have to keep eyes on the politician, things that they say, things that they do. It is important that for the most part, it controls our daily lives. And if you think it's not important, that you don't want to listen to what they say and that we cannot hold them accountable, then that's sad. And it goes back to tell you, in our own country, in Liberia, some of the statements coming from our politicians, our stakeholders, be it the government, the opposition, ordinary citizens, supporters of these political parties, it's quite scary. We need to closely keep watch and monitor what is happening. I'm Alfonso Ziensot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Every day piece of drama is coming from Liberia and other parts. Yesterday, the collaborations of the 4 political parties, we try to reach out to get an in-depth of the statement, the collaboration, what it means for the political process, the Rainbow Coalitions, another group of parties of 11. I had a chance here to talk to Dr. Jeremiah Wapu and that of Reginald Goodrich. And those guys seems to be the faces of the new Rainbow Coalition. According to the statement, they were invited yesterday at that program. They also spoke. We heard from most of the political leaders as well. And it is still unclear whether as if the process of the senatorial race or election will go as planned. And then the recent interview with Senator Alfonso Gay, that was another bizarre revelation. The $24 million budget proposed by the National Election Commission was slashed, was cut off to what? 17 million, summary disappearing to 13. And that's what are that funding, according to late years, it's yet to be clear whether that funding have been released. Now, elections are very expensive and very costly if you want a tangible and good results. If elections are not properly financed and adequate preparations is not made, that's a serious problem. It poses the democratic process put it at stake. And that's why you see all of these dramas unfolding. If there was adequate logistic and money, fundings were made available in time to allow the commission, the election commission, to go ahead and plan. Because the thing about the election commission from 2017, after the whole voter roll scenario saga, the Supreme Court of the Republic of Liberia mandated the election commission to ensure that there's a complete and comprehensive cleanup. Now we are hearing some extreme. I'm surprised Why are we talking this thing about this time in the injury and strappy time, as commentary a commentator will put it? 2017. What year are we in now? So while this was just kept under the table, nobody picked on it to discuss it. Every day we see Samuel Tuwe, other government officials that go on Capitol Hill, and folks on Capitol Hill, they also have the authority to ensure, and I'm quite sure there's a committee oversight responsibility on elections or whatever form it would be. Because the Election Commission itself, we have to create an open conversation with this. They have their fault in terms of whether they did enough, and national government as well, because the fundings, the Election Commission does not have our own funding. Their effort is being subsidized by governments and donors and other friendly, organizations to conduct free and fair election. So they are just a group of people. It's a tournament agency or organ that is charged on our provisions to conduct free and fair election. But there must be a provisions in terms of budgetary allocation to allow this institution to conduct free and fair election. Like you have a hunter, this guy is the best hunter in the town. And so maybe there's a traditions in this town here that everybody at the end of a certain period of time, you have to maybe give in the guns or fund the shots, and then all his job, given the logistics requires, and then he goes in the bush there, be it the elephant or cow, whatever, he kill it, bring it to town, and the town people have a nice party and feast. That's how, in the simpler context, that's how the Election Commission looks like. So election commissions is a institutions, is a structure put in place under the provisions of our Constitution that has the responsibility to conduct free and fair election. However, there are monetary value attached to the effectiveness of the Election Commission. And that monetary attachment, it has to be made available by national governments or donors. More or less the national government. They have to go out there to find fundings from other organizations to conduct, in order to subsidize the effective conduct of elections in the country and in other countries for that matter. And there was a budget, for God's sake, there was a budget put in place to allow this organ to have and conduct free and fair election. We went down this slope before in 2017. This is the problem of us always in the habit of managing crisis. We do not prevent crisis. We always manage crisis. And one who does that always find themselves into trouble. They get a typical saying, prevention is better than cure, because if you went to a doctor today and say, and the doctor provide you a counseling, this is what you're supposed to do to avoid X, Y, Z from pain or sickness, and you ignore the advice of the doctor and you decide to go your way, I don't care how long it takes, they're going to catch up with you because you deliberately on purpose refuse to listen. So the kabuka dance that we are having today, the Azonto dance that we are having today, the slogan that we are having today, this talking point that we are having today is no strange. You knew about it. I know it. Everybody knew it, including the lawmakers, who it is within their purview, according to our constitutions. They are the one that, go the budget of the government, bring it, they review it to make sure what is in the budget is enough. And they know it very well that elections will be held this year. And nobody did anything enough. And here we are, all of us, including myself, we all freaking out. And I feel bad for them. But interestingly, when I was talking to Senator Alfonso Gay here too, he's also in government. Right, senator for the only senator that is not seeking re-elections, and it was on purpose. I asked our questions whether his retirement was out of frustration because things are going, But I know politicians, they are always in the positions of political correctness. They're going to fine-tune their language. And seasoned politicians do not usually, they always leave that gap opening because they can come back anytime. And mature politicians, they do not easily demonize the group that they are still part of. In as much you're going to be going out, he has nothing to lose. But he never knows what the future holds. Going out of Senate does not necessarily suggest that his complete retirement in politics. So you say, well, yeah, you were getting say they have surplus, but why you talking about surplus? There's nothing like a surplus. So then where this talking point is coming from? That is the budget of the Election Commission will be cut so significantly like this. He was talking about the mobile process. It's very strange. How many of us can adapt to the system here? And how long can this take, especially when it comes to accessibilities of good roads? If they went to Bombing County today and then from there they got to go to Bapolu, how long can they stay in Bombing? And what is the time gap from Bombing to Bapolu that will be able to get there just in time to carry out a registration? Do they have the manpower to do all of that? That's a big question. So now we are having all of the political parties, the oppositions, they are coming out with a position that in fact, they should undo the entire new to registration. So there's a condition set, right? And I learned, because you listened to the program yesterday, and the chairperson of the CPP, Benedict Cummings of the Alternative National Congress, that their lawyer is going to be making that argument. So prohibition has already been filed. If it is not if it is not at the court now, but it's already in process because it was pronounced yesterday, and you could see the consolidation that they are consolidating their positions with the hope that all of them are going to stick together. So there is a big question mark as to whether these elections, these senatorial elections, are expected to engulf the 15 political subdivision, whether it will go ahead as planned, or we do not know precisely what going to be the mandate of the court with respect to the argument of the opposition column. Whether we squash that out or what going to be the reactions, what else, God one knows. But this is to speak to the valiant that we always try to manage crisis. We know it's a crisis at hand. We knew it. Everybody knew exactly what was coming, but we just paid a deaf ear to it with the hope that it was just going to be resolved automatically with some sort of magic wine coming into it, and that we're going to have a result. I think that was wrong. So this is where we are. Now it leaves off with the talking point to create speculations and with all of the apprehension as to what's going to be happening specifically. What are the fundings going to be there? Moving voters from one point to another. You heard our guys today, the folks, and that's everyday news. Senior government officials, oppositions, we're just hearing from our LPRO folks. Also, Senator Dallas Gwet of Riverside County is also being accused. There were some folks on the local radio station today that he promised $30, took them from whatever place to one point to another to go vote for him or to go register, and I could not live up to that obligation, so they are blowing an alarm. So imagine the 15 political subdivisions, just the few that we know about. Imagine the rest, how it is unfolding into those places. That itself put the credibility of the elections at stake. And we, Liberia Public Radio and African Star newspaper, we are noted of putting ourselves on record just to make sure that that we address ourselves to situations with an objective analysis and a talking point, just to make sure we ourselves, we don't want to be a spectator. We don't want to be, we want to be a participant. We want to actively involve into the process. So just recently, before this whole debacle of so-called stuff to come about, Liberia Public Radio and the African Star newspaper, there was a commentary. And so I want to see if I can get that commentary to play it here so that we'll see exactly and tell you exactly what I'm talking about, that we alarm this. And other people probably they listened or they didn't listen to what the situation, what the D is. So we will try and give you a sense of why it is. All right. So let's see here. Okay, let's see here. So I'm going to get this play so that you will get a sense of what we say in the past. I'm Afonso Ziansot of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. Stay tuned. I'm going to get this going here. Let me just take a quick break here and we'll be right back. Oh, this is something.
You've worked for months to bring your or your client's event to life, but unfortunately, the world had another plan. In reality, the only thing you lost is the venue. We take your vision for hosting a virtual conference and bring it to life online. No matter how complex your agenda is, we produce a smooth, engaging experience. Call the Liberia Public Radio today and schedule your event. Our number is 682-433-8802. If you prefer to submit your request via email, please send the request to liberiapublicradio2012@gmail.com. Our staff are standing by waiting for your phone call.
Okay, that's it right there. Just an announcement for Russia Convention. But let me just play this commentary. If you didn't have the chance to listen to this commentary here from Liberia Public Radio and the African Star newspaper.
Peace and democracy. The fragility of peace in the West African country of Liberia is more pronounced and threatened today since the cessation of hostilities, as citizens and political parties prepare for midterm and general elections in the coming months. The outcry against political violence and impunity, a reckless disregard of maintaining the integrity of the electoral process, and voter trucking and busing are even louder. The general consensus among citizens is that effective national governance and leadership are anemic or missing. We wish to remind Liberia's national leadership, the National Elections Commission, political parties and their leaders, as well as the Liberian population, of the painful disagreements over the conduct of the 1985 presidential and legislative elections that led to the infamous November 12, 1985 rebel invasion. We are also reminded of the subsequent 1989 Christmas Eve rebel incursion that resulted in near collapse of the Liberian nation, the murder of over 250,000 people, and the destruction of both public and private properties that amounted to millions of dollars. We had hoped that the Davietta Brown Lansana Elections Commission by now would have taken the appropriate measures to avoid the reoccurrence of any act of election-related violence. Regrettably, African Star and Liberia Public Radio are constrained to indict the presidency of Liberia and government for the decline in confidence in the leadership of the country. It is our considered opinion that the preparation for upcoming elections is fraught with self-made problems that could potentially ignite a national inferno and lead to a massive loss of any democratic gains obtained in the last decade. In a prior editorial, we urged President George M. Weah to exert control and leadership of the listless country, but we are not surprised that he lacks the ability and will not step up to undertake his constitutional duties. As institutions of democracy, we owe a duty to sound an alarm when the well-being, values, and future of the country are threatened by an abdication of responsibility by the national governors. International development partners and friends of Liberia who expended blood and treasure in the past to maintain the country have in so many ways prodded the national leadership and citizens to do better and preserve the unity of the country. However, these admonitions are failing, and it appears that this is a deliberate death march that Liberia has embarked on again. African Star and Liberia Public Radio are calling for intervention and support from the international community to support the following recommendations. 1. Impose a 1-year travel ban and asset freeze on the national leadership and anyone involved in violence to force them to amend their approach to national governance. Support the temporary postponement of midterm elections through legislative action until June 2021. Support and fund a new voter registration process, first for midterm elections, followed by general elections. Support the amendment of Liberia's elections laws to expand the membership of the National Elections Commission and ensure greater participation. Second, an international team of election experts to assist with training the staff of the National Elections Commission, the NEC, in preparation for elections. And support calls for the implementation of the country's Truth and Reconciliation Commission's recommendations as a means of justice and rights protections. African Star and Liberia Public Radio challenged the Liberian government, including the national legislature and presidency, to take concrete steps as a matter of urgency to implement our recommendations to preserve the country's fragile democracy and peace. Equally, political parties and their leaders must take responsible actions to enhance peace and tranquility in the West African nation. We also call on the international community to support the reform of the National Elections Commission and the electoral process to accord credibility to any acceptable outcome with the view of solidifying the hard-earned peace and stability in the West African nation. African Star and Liberia Public Radio wish to remind President George M. Weah that it is in his supreme interest and that of his government to ensure durable peace in Liberia, because throughout our recent history, the presidency and the government have always fallen victims to preventable political and civil unrest in Liberia. William R. Talbot Jr., Samuel Canyon Doe, and Charles MacArthur Taylor come to mind. We further appeal to the Liberian population to desist from the temptation of allowing themselves to be used to undermine the peace that they and the global community sacrificed so much to attain so far. We at African Star and Liberia Public Radio reaffirm our support for free, fair, and democratic elections and remain committed to using our platforms to sustain lasting peace while rejecting any and all forms of violence in Liberia. We can only hope that President Weah will provide the much-needed leadership that seems absent during these difficult times in the West African nation to keep Liberia on the path of democracy. This news commentary is a collaboration between African Star and Liberia Public Radio.
All right, there you have it. There, we are getting some breaking news development here. So we're going to be breaking that to you. It is crazy. Every day things happen in Liberia. I'm Alfonso Z and sort of the Liberia Public Radio and LPR TV. What later report coming from the provincial senate of Zouadrou, Grand County, the Liberia Public Radio judiciary and crime correspondent is reporting there was a killing. Let me just put this picture here. It's crazy. This gentleman allegedly, according to report that we are receiving, I'm getting the information that he's been apprehended, but we will try to confirm that hopefully with authority here. This gentleman by the name of Melvin Thier is a resident of Zouadrou, Grand County. Yesterday, according to report coming from Grand Republic of Liberia, southeastern side, killed his girlfriend and a 2-month-old baby. And reports say the girl was also a pregnant girl, killed this girl because of what according to report that we are receiving out of jealousy. This guy, Melvin Thier, he has been on the run. I was just getting a message here, but let me just validate this message here. We are hearing that the gentleman in question, the alleged suspect in question, Melvin Thier, has been apprehended, but we have to try confirm this with security or authorities in Grand County as to whether Mr. Thier is actually being apprehended. We cannot confirm the authenticity as to whether he's being picked up, but our report we are getting here say he's being picked up. Let me see here. Okay, all right. This is a message that we are getting inbox here, but again, we're just going to bring it as it is. Melvin Thier allegedly killed his fiancée. The entire details is on this story here. I'm getting inbox here. Somebody is sending up inbox here. Mr. K. He said the guy who killed his wife in Zouadrou had been arrested. Well, that's what we are getting, but we will have to confirm this with security authority or state local authorities here. And we're going to be making some phone calls. Hopefully, by tomorrow, we will get this information. But Melvin Thier yesterday killed his fiancée. 2 months. Can you imagine? 2 months. This is the wickedness that is in that country. Everybody freaking wicked, deadly mind. We are not willing to change for jealousy. The idiot said he was going, and no matter whatever the woman is doing, it doesn't warrant to take her life away. And I hope he's going to be given a speedier trial and let the court decide if that's what he did. The story here said the man said he was going out of time. Apparently, he didn't go. He came back. Some ugly situation was unfolding in his own bed, according to the story. Even at that, and went and killed this lady. Victim is Florence. The story is out there. There's nothing to her, any identity, and kill her, and not just only kill her. So it's looked like allegedly 3 murders has been committed here. You killed the pregnant woman. You killed the woman. The woman is pregnant, and the 2-month-old child killed the child because of jealousy. Seriously? So the issues in Liberia they are compound complex. In as much if the social issues in Liberia are not properly addressed, this is what we're going to be having. People are traumatized. People are seriously affected as a result of the war. And some people are naturally wicked within themselves. This is the problem. This is the challenge that the country is going through. What kind of human being in his right mind, your fiancé is pregnant, and you say, caught her with boyfriend, killed the woman, you took her life, allegedly, you took the life of the baby, the unborn baby, and killed your own son, 2 months old son. Can you imagine? So the destructions in the country is just coming from all angles. Everywhere. Politicians distract all, ordinary citizens distract all, people in the advocacy community they distract all, people sit behind the microphone, journalists they distract. I mean, everywhere, just unbelievable. That's the situation. But according to the inbox that we are just receiving from this person here, who is a follower of the Liberia Public Radio, I will try to validate what he's saying. I'm hoping said if I can probably to message the superintendent or local authorities if they can confirm that. Hilton, thank you for providing us this information. I'm not sure whether if you are in Zwedru or wherever you are. That's the information we are hearing. In the meanwhile, according to the source that is telling us that the fellow is he has been apprehended, he has been arrested by security forces in Grand Judea. It is unclear as to where he was picked up, which direction to where he was heading. But that's the little we know for now. But we hope to get the details. But if you want to follow this detail of the story, it is on the official website of the Liberia Public Radio. That is www.Liberia Public Radio. You're going to get the whole story here. He's 36-year-old guy. He was on the run killing 2-month-old pregnant girlfriend. Can you imagine? Your own girlfriend, 2 months old pregnant, and then they get a 2 months old baby. Let me make sure here. Yeah, 2-month old pregnant baby, and killed the girl. And obviously, when the girl died, you know what's going to happen to the baby, to the unborn. And then he took off. It happened around 2 a.m. according to a report. Yet to be 1 a.m. as a matter of fact, according to reports. But all these are yet to be confirmed by security forces. And the gentleman in question is Melvin Tier. Let me put this good here. These are people here. These are the kind of things that the problem that we are dealing with in Liberia. The one who doesn't make life, who doesn't create life and take people's life away forcibly, killed the woman, killed and took off because of he was a jealous man, right? He killed the lady and he left. This is the problem. These are some of the things that we are going through in that country. And his brother gave a detailed revelation what happens. Because the picture here, the picture of the deceased, the picture of the deceased is very gruesome. We cannot put this picture here. We cannot put this picture here because you don't want to see here. It's Richard. Honestly, some people. I don't know. This kind of man. What can we say? These are the challenges that we are facing in the country. When we are thinking how to find a resolution to one, and then by the time you go look, another crazy thing just pop up from somewhere because he's jealous. I think Pigeon said I don't understand. And according to report, he even attempted to kill the guy that was caught in his bed or whatever the situation, but he managed to escape, and he's ended up killing his own fiancée. That is the good lie over that woman, 2 months old pregnancy, and allegedly killed that person. He has not been investigated, so I can't come out here to say, but that's the situation, and that happens in Grand Jita County, Grand Jita, in the city of Zouadrou. If people get a guts to do this sort of evil in big cities, then just imagine what's going on in these towns and villages. Every time you look on the news outlets, something just imaginable, something just very difficult to comprehend, it comes your way. And it helps to yeah, let me see here. Let me pick up this call here. It's this story. Yeah. Hello, Nathan, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, this thing got me sick. It's I don't know.
And these things here, it's heartbreaking. Even reading what you just read, and imagine a woman carrying a child in her. It's bad enough. If you kill another living child, and these things, I'm not saying it's the government, but response from a government in the previous cases will prompt somebody to do these things, where people are being raped, being killed, and there's no prosecution, there's no arrest being made. We make anybody to feel that because there is no response swiftly. It's breaking. In Zouadrou, think about places that have no access to information. And this is sad. Zouadrou is a big city. It has a good police station. Imagine places that are beyond Zouadrou, where there's no police. And this is why people sometimes resort into jungle justice. And the government is sitting there. And these things are happening. People have the courage to kill a fellow human being, not alone somebody that you sexually interact with, that you have a child by, who is carrying another child. That is so personal to you. If you can kill that person, who can you kill? And this is the system that should be broken by public laws. These people should be, it should be made public that this is not happening, and here's what the government is doing. It will scare them. And there's a lot to talk about. The situation prevailing in Bomi County. If it is true, first of all, if the law is violated by trucking people from even Sierra Leone to Liberia, from county of Montserrat to Bomi County to go and vote, if people have been trucked, shouldn't the truckers be disqualified from participating in the election because that's a violation of the law? But they are there because whatever result comes of that election benefits the government. So they don't care about that. And these things is creating a threat to democracy. Most of it, I read the TRC report, so I read it. It took me 2 months, but I read the whole thing. The recommendation, one of the things they said was that why they're walking, because people were not being heard. They were not being listened to. Some people feared that they were above the law. Some people feared that their tribes were being attacked. simply felt disenfranchised that the law did not represent them. In fact, there was one system of justice for the poor and one for the rich. And this is what is prevailing. And the Election Commission, in my opinion, this is why President Weah was so desperate to put the Nigerian man on that commission, because he gave him the result that he wanted. Not knowing that that result could provoke the country into a civil crisis. And this is the reason the election, what I think should have been, I read the recommendation made by your colleague in the APR TV and the African Star. That recommendation should have included disqualification of those that are tracking people. It is heartbreaking that this vote, the country is being dragged gradually to a civil conflict. It can be short time, a long time. Most of these guys, they have passports for different countries they can run to. Our passports are now being sold to foreigners. Imagine that the little integrity that is left, like our little integrity that is left, is being sold to Lebanese, to Indians, to Arabic people, flying around as Liberians. And we know the region, we know that region in the Middle East, what they represent here. And our passports are being sold. The man himself admitted that there were orders. I listened to him when President File was involved. Imagine 4,250 passports, diplomatic passports. And this is a bad precedent being set. And if nothing is done, laws are already, there's no law and order in Liberia already. There's no law and order. The law favors certain people. President Weah has been tongue-tied. And gone into 2013. President Weah took no action when his police director or deputy police director targeted the Oluba, trying to take a start to police station for license plate. President Weah sat and said nothing when a lady named Taylor was attacked and raped almost to death. President Weah said nothing when people were being brutalized at his own compound, CDC compound. And this is a bad road being set that will collide with human traffic being collapses. Violence is already being promoted by the CDC government. They are not being prosecuted. The police is a CDC police. There have been no arrest made when Taylor, when the lady was attacked, Taylor Ure was attacked in 2015. This is heartbreaking, really. No, so really, but that's all I can say.
Wow. All right. Okay. Well, that's man. Come on. Now, okay. None. Come on, Nathan. So we also, because we saw this ahead of time, and this is something here. Let's be honest here, right? This whole thing here been since after 2007, the cleaning of voter rolls, the lawmakers, people who supposed to act, they didn't act. Here we are. Do you think this process can go ahead? And if it went ahead with a sort of soundbite, with the kind of conversation, the discussion, the what is in the quarter now, will people honor the result, or it's just going to be another chaos that's going to break? That's going to develop.
It will be chaos because first of all, the integrity of the election itself has been jeopardized. So even with a fair election, there will always be question on the mind of the people. Is this result fair? Can I accept the result? People are shocking people. I saw a post on somebody's, one guy with the same voter registration number have 4 ID cards, different. One of the name is Zina Kroma, the only Kroma Zina. I mean, it's just so sad. And this is breeding tension. And this is violence being set because the result of the election, I'm afraid, it will be a disaster and there will be a fight or grumble or destruction following this. There'll be protests, there'll be riots because the president is doing nothing. Those lawmakers that are in the house that should bring this to an arrest, they say nothing. Those, first of all, why are you trucking people from country to country, number one? Number two, who is, it is so easy. You don't have to be a security expert to know
So
this.
let me ask you, as a Liberian, right? So what if we were to ask you here, what could be a suggestion to get this out of our way? Should the election go ahead as planned, or should it be postponed until everything pretty well? That I don't know. There's no free and fair election anywhere, but what we see on 49 is just unprecedented. I think if this process goes ahead as planned, it's just a recipe for chaos.
And also, if it doesn't go ahead, it benefits those that in power already because they don't want election to be held anyway.
So then what do we do?
What we do is to have the election, but with a new voter registration system.
Okay.
Ready? Because
hold on one second.
No, hold on
one second. Yeah, go ahead.
There should be a new voter registration system. Somebody who voted 2017 cannot come back and say his voting card lost. It is secret to you. And this is what is being done. People are being registered in multiple names, but they're being paid by people to sell their vote. I received information that there's a man who is recruiting people. He buy your voter card for $50 US. And some people make that much money a month. Some people don't make it at all. So if you offer to somebody, of course they'll get a voter registration card. Then they don't have it. Now they go re-register and say their card lost. Now they got two cards because one candidate bought your card and now you want a new card. I mean, really? I mean, it's funny, but it's sad. There's a destruction being said. This democracy being, distorted.
So, but in the middle of that, you still want the election to go ahead?
Yes, because if the election is not held, it goes to benefit the person who, first of all, buying the thing. And okay, if they should postpone it, then let them bring new voting registration system. We can live with that. That there'll be no fraud, that cannot be duplicated, that there'll be no. Let them make a law first of all. Your voting card should last for 2 election cycles, presidential election cycles. In that way, show you get for 12 years. You can only register first-time voters. Put their name on voter roll. Let it be a system being put. I mean, this is like a joke.
Let me see. 1, 2. Okay. So, in other words, they should allow the process, or they should just clean the voter roll.
Then clean the voter roll. We can live with that. If you cannot have the process, clean the voter roll first. That is addressing the problem for which it being postponed. Clean the voter roll.
So would the process still be trusted, even if they did that now? Why they didn't, first of all, why this issue wasn't even addressed?
Well, the issue was not addressed because it was going to benefit some people. No, some people benefit from the result of corrupt election system. There was a man, 2017 or 20 something like that, was in Bannerville, Johnsonville, printing voter cards, printing it. I mean, if you can get a man to sit down in his room and print voter cards, what is it left? So if nothing is done, they think will lead Liberia to another, I'm sorry to say, to another civil war. Because one of the reasons of the war, they address it. And this, you cannot suppress people's voice and their vote, that all they got, that they are power to put in office or get it out of office. If you think you are honest and you have good policies, why are you talking people going wrong based on your policies?
And there are a lot of big names allegedly accused in this year. So were these people ever, they were ever called in to ask them questions, you think?
I think they can put a system into place, let them be called, let them get on the record. Let them lie. I don't do lie. But first of all, you can know. In the case of Ellis Tango, it's so easy to prove.
Why?
They caught the people because, first of all, who is paying for the MTA buses that are leaving? Where the source of that income? Who is sending them there? Who has the most to gain or to lose? Who is paying for them? And who is being it's so confusing. Who paying for these buses that are going to Bomi County and from where their money coming? The MTA should tell us who rented their buses. And we ask that person on who behalf delivering these buses. And let's first of all, you are speaker. You can't run on your policy that made speaker before. Now you gotta really. This is how you know these guys, they are jokers. If I, Nathan Plain, set a record of policies, if I say I'll bring Dorsey Road here, I'll bring Kota Road here, I'll put Market here, if I did it, the people know I did it. If I name the boulevard and say Elizabeth Boulevard, they will know you did something there. But now you got nothing to show for the 12 years you're in office. Now you are tracking people. You better feel it is being reliably accused of not only tracking people but involving passport sale. Are those are people that could run this country?
Yeah.
Isn't that?
I've been told Wombly or whatever, Womblo, yeah, the confection that is taking place now is huge. I'm hearing pretty close to it. Is some more names attached and a lot of big names are involved. We don't know, and it's damaging because Wesson Garfin lady is in the process. He's partaking. He wants to be a senator of Grand Bassa County. His name is being mentioned here. Do you think they're going to call him in to get his side of the story, or we just only having this sort of headache talk?
Let him just go. Let him be called to go and clear his name. Let him be. Why was his name mentioned? Brother Kafina is standing right next to one guy who is some Italian guy with a red passport sitting right next. If I shaking him, Brother Kafina with a red passport, diplomatic red passport. That alone is a proof. I remember. I went to LeBron one time. I was coming. There was a guy who was a foreign minister. There was a time. One light-skinned guy. Were on the flight. He saw this guy with gas mark to him. He said, "Listen, that's a LeBron passport guy." He said, "Yeah." He said, "Oh, where are you from?" He said, "He's from Lofa." What is the name? So he uses brain to slow. You are not a LeBron person. You are not. He said, "Oh, I naturalized." You could tell. Yeah. So these things, LeBron passport, a lot of respect, and it's not a business equipment. People use and people. Why do you think a man is giving thousands of dollars to get LeBron passport? You think if you love LeBron so much? Why? They take this passport, they use it in different countries to commit crime. That crime is traced to Liberia. And you love LeBron so much so that you get your passport. You said the only internationally known credential of your citizens. And go to Saudi Arabian people, Lebanese people, we get Hezbollah here, we get Janjaweed here, we got Hamas here. I mean, then you surprised that LeBron will lose respect. You surprised that LeBron will be questioned. Even if you're real LeBron, so you're a Liberian. I know you're a Liberian. But if a white man sees you at the airport, like bring passport, he cannot question something that whether it's real or you are, either you bought it or you own it. And that's what people do to us. That's what people do because they don't have no reputation to protect. Some people, the old men, African affairs, one that.
Wow.
What people do to the country? It's not about politics. It's about what happened to you? What informed your conscience? People say your education informs your judgment. True. Are you so patriotic that you take a country passport and say, "What else are you selling? What else are you selling?" Yeah. People there digging gold and diamond like bro, no lesson. They come from Ghana, they in Grand Guinea, they in Grand Cru, they in River G. Nobody checking them. None of that. Yeah, I mean the country is just running by itself. Yeah.
So I don't know. This is a serious problem. The other is what Mr. Meyer here is saying. Another idea would be cancel. I think all registered. I believe he wants to say all registered car, non-regulation car, all registered cars that was issued in 3 months ago. Is that a good strategy?
That's a good. Yeah, that's a good start. That's a good start. First time voter. If you first time voter, maybe if you are 17 years old, 17, now you are 20 years old. We know how they don't grow, how they don't grow. We know the size of. I can't say for instance, I can't vote for my first time, but I'm politically active. You know something wrong with that? I cannot be in Liberia, be active on Facebook, social media, doing politics. Then 2020, I go vote. That I'm a first time voter when I'm 48 years old. What is that? Why would you believe that? So this is what's happening. They should scrap every car that was printed in the last 6 months. Yeah, because this is the country. And
Oh.
the law has brought so much so that they will scrap everything out of the way to the
This fellow, the picture that is quite that is on Melvin Twitter, we are just getting confirmation from our guy in Morovia has just confirmed, and in fact, there's footage of this fellow now. Is Melvin Tia is reportedly been arrested by security forces, according to our correspondent. Our correspondent has just confirmed that with us, and so we want to say thank you to Mr. Hilton, who earlier sent us an inbox telling us that the alleged culprit killer. Now, yeah, there's a live images coming from Zwedru at the police station. This guy, what he did was that he first of all, after doing that, it happens at 9 p.m. 9 p.m. pretty close. Nathan is it's still like a broad daytime. 9 p.m. He took this lady live, yeah, and he left and went to his brother, Augustine Tia, and reported a line that this lady put him out with his son. He has another son, I believe. That's the son picture here, but little details coming in regarding about this, regarding about his action. And the picture here, because this picture is so gruesome, we cannot put this picture out there. And he apparently allegedly killed this lady, his girlfriend. We are hearing that was pregnant as well, and a 1 year and 6 month old baby. So it is reported besides she as a victim, the pregnant, the unborn child, and another child, because he have this child by this lady. Those are the victims so far that we are hearing. But this guy allegedly, Melvin Tia, the suspect Melvin Tia, has been picked up. He has been arrested. Live images coming from Zwedru. He's taken to the police station. Letton, when you hear this sort of things here, he did the act 9 p.m., left the house, went to his brother and told his brother, according to the report that we are hearing now, hopefully at the end of the day, security investigation will reveal details of what happened after killing the lady. This picture here that I'm receiving here, this picture here, if you go on the official website, you're going to see it. But this picture is so gruesome that we cannot put it on the Facebook. Other than that, I'll tell you for sure, Facebook going to kick me out of here. And so if you want to watch the story, go on the official website, preliminary there, that you're going to see this story here. This young lady, lying in a pool of blood because of this guy, allegedly, all because of jealousy. He was going out of town. He didn't go. Whether somebody giving a tip of the woman having some sort of relationship with somebody, but even at that, it doesn't warrant taking people's life. It's just unbelievable.
It's just so. Look at after he killed, he actually went lie down somewhere, closed the eye and slept. Look at that.
He lied to his brother, and apparently, I think he called when people went there after doing allegedly committing the act. The door was locked. When the people went there, boss opened the door, forcibly opened the door. The lady lying in a pool of blood.
I don't know where the guys find their hearts. Ready. It is sad to just kill human being in cold blood, pregnant. If you convey this man, even sending him to death, he still owes society 2 human beings. Really?
I don't know. This is
sad.
Well, the deceased body has been deposited at the Martha Tubman Memorial Hospital waiting to follow investigations. The body has been deposited to the Martha Tubman Memorial Hospital waiting for that instructions, perhaps. I believe the case has been reported. Yeah, but that's the situation for now, and this is just so horrible to see all of these kind of things.
Imagine
People
that in a
forcibly
civilized
taking people's
society.
life for stupidness.
Yeah. I mean, to kill human being, for jealousy. How many people is slept with people in Meron? Eh? To kill human being, to kill a lady pregnant with child. Eh?
All right. The report has about a six-year-old son who he took along with his brother, took along to his brother house by the past relationships and left 1-year-old, 6-month-old sucking child mailed near the deceased body and went to his. After doing that, he left the child 1-year-old, 6 months. I don't think he killed the child. He left 1-year-old, 6 months. So, what sort of life that child gonna go through?
Yeah. I mean, your killed. Yeah. And this is so hard. He actually lied down, rested, and slept. Then he expect to move among society.
Okay, we're going to be wrapping it up here. There are more coming here. But quickly here, let me get your take here on the politics war here. Tai Wongwei, formerly with ANC. I don't know, should we say former now, but he said he left the ANC. But it was quite surprising yesterday. He was on his phone TV and said that he asking for Benin Ayura to leave CPP.
But the thing is, Tai Wongwei, first of all, he's a person with a bright political future. Either Gonglo Ware is a political power player in Neighbor County. She was once a superintendent. One thing you should know is that first he said he lost or the Puchiri primary. There is no holy way to win the campaign. You got to do what you do to win. There's no holy way. So you got outplay. If you can get outplayed by the CPB, why the citizen people not outplay you? Move on, you lose. And you sign an MOU, which is a memorandum of understanding that whoever loses the election will concede campaign, and you're not your other party, you're not running independent. I don't know why CPB, they should be suing him for breach of contract.
Which court you gonna take? Which court you gonna go to?
Well, something like court.
To say why he leaving?
No, that he signed a contract that he obligated himself to. It was a binding contract. He breached the contract. We can show his signature that he signed, the letter that he signed. You can't get lost and run from there.
If and only if there's a contract, you don't know. I don't know whether there was any stipulation.
Yeah.
But this comes to the point from time to time we have been saying, what are these people, what are the technical details when it comes to their actions or their agreement, what they want to do, what they don't want to do. That just speaks to the volume because they say, okay, we want to be this, and just get it and go.
Yeah, well, it don't work like that. You don't sign contract and walk away from it, especially the binding contract. You are a member of the ANC. Gongo Ware is for ALP. You choose to challenge her or to run against her in a Senate primary. The results show that you lost. You said she paid people. So, yes, I want to. It's so elementary for a black guy like that to fall for that kind of thing. Yeah. So that's why power at all costs. That is it. Power at all costs. No integrity again. It's out the window. I just want my power in my hand. That's it.
Okay. All right, my man. Well, we're gonna leave it at this morning. Just this story, just a terrible one. But we're gonna have this kind of conversation. This conversation will continue from time to time.
Right. It's healthy for us.
Yeah, and I want to thank you. On Sunday, we had extended an invitation to Minister Eugene Fagon.
Okay.
I was told. I'm not sure whether you're gonna accept saying Minister Fagon that he was always on LPR when he was in the opposition.
Yeah,
in fact, Cartel, he was always on this network, but he's an assistant and so they get their own places to go. But the microphones, our invitation is still out there. In the meantime, the senatorial aspirant for Mount Gibby County, Madam Princess Macaulay, has
Okay.
agreed to appear on LPR this Sunday. And I just also got a message yesterday. Senator Thomas Fallard came out forcefully to speak against the action against the health worker union, according to what a source from the health worker team is telling me. Fallard was the one he spoke against it, and Fallard promised to meet with the president to address 3 of the cardinal issues: the hazard compensation, the union, and other working equipment. He hoped to address that with the president, and according to them, that conversation yesterday went well. He was the only person, according to them, Fallard said they have the right under the law that it is done everywhere in the world for them to have their union.
But Mr. So here's the thing, though. If we call nurses and doctors and healthcare workers, if we call them essential workers,
I want to talk to Minister Fagon, because he did a podcast that they have people either go, there are other people looking for job. I don't get it, because
exactly
you can't put down 9,000 people and then you say you want to train people, professional people that have been in this field for years and years, that have rendered services. There's some sort of disagreement. I believe their job was to call the leadership, call these people, cut a deal. That's what happened everywhere in the world. Cut a deal. Even if you say, like they said, 22 million they put forward, if it doesn't meet there something, get to the discussion table and do it. But what is the guarantee that you think if these people walk off job, that you think that other people are going to be encouraged to come?
Yeah. First of all, so are you trying, you hire people now that you're not paying them? So it makes no sense. If we call them essential workers, paying their salaries will also be essential on regular time. Because they're essential. Unless you know what essential is, you think you're being poor, that you will not pay them and you're not going to strike too, they'll go strike.
Well, yeah. And like again, I want to give him the opportunity. Hopefully he will accept our invitation so we can work and tweet around that schedule. But in the meantime, Madam Princess Macaulay of Mount Gibby County, who is contesting the senatorial race, has agreed to appear on LPR here. And we're going to be coming over the flyer. Man, thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. So thank you.
All right. Okay, well, folks, it's 1:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here from the East Coast, the New England Bureau of the Liberia Public Radio. This is All Things Considered. For those of you just joining us for the first time, just follow our page, like our page. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel, and that way you can get an alert once we are on. We'll always bring you news, information that were valid. Again, the suspect allegedly that killed his fiancée is being apprehended, is being arrested. According to our correspondent, has confirmed that the live images coming from Zwedru already taken in custody by local security authorities, and the deceased, the body of the deceased has been deposited at the Martha Tubman Memorial Hospital, waiting for further instruction. The alleged perpetrator or killer, for that matter, if you will, Mr. Tier, Melvin Tier, this gentleman, yesterday killed his fiancée. There is a couple of month pregnant woman, and reportedly left the house, went to his brother, and reportedly told his brother that he was thrown out of the house, only to find out later on that he allegedly killed the woman and left her in a pool of blood. He was on the run, but we are getting fresh development that this young man, Melvin Tier, a resident of Zwedru, Grangeda County, is now being apprehended. This is a disgrace. This is a complete mess. He did this according to initial report that we are getting because of jealousy. He told his wife or fiancé he was going out of town. He did not go, came right back and met somebody even at that. And this thing, it happens around 9 p.m. No, not 1 a.m., 9 p.m. Eastern time, 1 a.m. Liberia's time. That's where it happens. And then after the incident around, we were told by our judiciary and crime correspondent report that we are gathering, Melvin rushed to his brother Augustine's tier, and that's where these revelations started coming, and to make up whatever his makeup. He was on the run, and the lady, his fiancée, was 2 months old pregnant, 2 months old pregnant as well when she got killed. He went on the run, but latest reported while we were on the air that Melvin Tier is reportedly being arrested by security forces in Zouadrou. This is ridiculous. This guy is just. We hope this sort of development is going to be given a quick trial, and we are hoping to know the outcome of that trial as well, because this is unfair to just take people's life, but people just kill people for no reason. He killed people, and not just only killed her, but she was around almost, according to preliminary we are hearing, this lady was like 2 months old pregnant. And this guy killed this lady because of the picture is the picture of the deceased is gruesome. So we cannot we can just only show you the doer of the act, Melvin and his son. There can show them. We cannot show the deceased picture because very gruesome in a pool of blood. So we cannot display that. If you want to follow the full story, just go on the official website of the Liberia Public Radio. That's www.liberiapublicradio.com, and you're going to get it. But that's the gentleman at Melvin Tier who did that. Well, folks, it's 1:59 Eastern Standard Time. We're going to leave it here. I don't know, Flomo. I don't know what's really going on in that country. Everybody there doing their own thing. Until some sort of really tough measures are instituted to hold people accountable to what they are doing, whatever the date. That's the only way. Because we can't have this. We can't have a lawless country where anybody can just get a junko justice country to anybody take laws into their own hand and do whatever they want to do. We want to leave it here this afternoon. Thank you so much for watching. Join us Saturday. We're going to be here. We're going to be here Saturday with the IJET convention. IJET is going to be having a virtual convention here this Saturday, and we're going to be bringing you the live images.
You've worked for months to bring your or your client's event to life, but unfortunately, the world had another plan. In reality, the only thing you lost is the venue. We take your vision for hosting a virtual conference and bring it to life online. No matter how complex your agenda is, we produce a smooth, engaging experience. Call the Liberia Public Radio today and schedule your event. Our number is 682-433-8802. If you prefer to submit your request via email, please send the request to liberiapublicradio2012@gmail.com. Our staff are standing by waiting for your phone call.
This is the time to come together. Keep Liberia safe forever. So open up your heart, let the unity begin. Love is all we need to make it stand. Let's cultivate one another. Learn to live together as brothers and sisters. Without togetherness, we won't have a peace of mind. Unify and have a peaceful